What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bush League Huddle Fantasy Football Podcast. We are back. We are back. And we're the three best friends that ever. No, I'm kidding. We're back, though, after 1 week hiatus. We took a little bit of a week off we had to really process how fantastically exciting that Super Bowl was. I think that's why we really needed a bit of a break there.
Nueva York.
Yeah, there it is. So if you weren't paying attention to the Super Bowl in the last few weeks, the Seattle Seahawks are the Super Bowl world champions of the world. Which honestly, props to Mike McDonald and props to Dan Schneider and that whole organization. It might not have been a super exciting Super Bowl, but at the same time, they got it done and good for them. And props to Sam Darnold. Can we just pour one out for Sam Darnold? Honestly, everyone forgot about him. Everyone wrote him out. Like he's the definition of we wrote you out, but I didn't write back. Whatever it was that Geno Smith said. That's him right there. And the guy, honestly, he could have been such a jerk, and he could have told everyone to suck the big one, but he didn't. He was a class act throughout the entire process. Was that
the big one being the ring?
Yes, the big one being the ring. Exactly. That's what I don't know what you thought, Knack. I know Roger and I are on the same page. Knack, get your mind out of the gutter.
I'm the one who said that.
I didn't even say anything.
No, I saw it in your eyes, Knack. Yeah, he was a class act through and through. So big props to Sam Darnold, Seattle Seahawks. Now they're for sale. Figure that one out. I guess the value is high, so I don't know. Buy low, sell high. I guess. Anyways, regardless of that, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very interesting show for you after a little hiatus that we had following the Super Bowl hangover. QB Carousel. There is so many interesting quarterback scenarios this year. About 9 out of the 32 teams are going to have serious quarterback question marks. So just like the coaching carousel that took place a little bit in the offseason, we got the same thing for quarterbacks, which is a little bit more expensive. So this is what we're doing this episode. We're calling our shots before free agency really opens up on March 11th, which is right around the corner. We got 9 teams that desperately need a quarterback, and the contract situations are very messy. We got about 99 million dead cap post June 1 cuts and trade candidates that nobody wants, and they got 99 problems, and a quarterback isn't one of them. So let's break down who's available, at what cost, where they land. But before we jump into that, ladies and gentlemen, you got to please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter for weekly fantasy breakdowns, even during the offseason. Even though we're not talking about fantasy-specific stuff, you're still going to get a lot of NFL content every day of the week. 7 days out of 7, 365. You know how we do it over here. 52 days a year, all that fun stuff. This episode, we are going over the available quarterbacks from a trade candidate perspective. We're going over available quarterbacks from a cut free agent candidate perspective. We're also going to dive in a little bit of some top free agents and the super deep rookie draft. And I say that with very heavy sarcasm. But it's okay. Really, there's only one interesting team when it comes to the rookie draft, I think, right now. But we're going to jump into that anyways. So, again, before we jump into the episode, that's Roger, that's Knack, I'm Fab. We're here all week, all day, every day. You know what it is. And we're going to go over the quarterbacks for this episode. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. And let's jump into the episode. So we're going to go through team by team, one by one. We got 9 teams on the slate right now. We're each picking 3 teams. I got picked with the lucky Las Vegas Raiders. So their current quarterback situation is that they got that guy that didn't write back over there. They got Geno Smith. Current cap hit right now is $26.5 million. We all saw what Geno was last year. He was no bueno. You can argue that it was because of the offensive line. You can argue that it was because of the coaching situation, that they didn't have any good receivers to throw to. There's a bunch of stuff. But the fact of the matter is he was not very good. They're now going to be picking first overall in the upcoming NFL draft. You would imagine that they have their eyes set firmly on the Heisman Trophy and college football championship winner Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana Hoosier.
Yeah, Mr. LinkedIn, Mr. Indiana Hoosier.
Mr. LinkedIn. My God, if
Mr.
LinkedIn was a
for work.
And they're going to be head coached by Clint Kubiak as well.
Yes.
Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, now head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, Clint Kubiak, which I think is notable. I don't know if the rest of the staff has been rounded out yet over there. So if you guys do have that information,
they have the OC. I think Giacomo. I think he comes from the Niners. I think he was the tight end coach for the Niners. He's going to be OC if I'm.
So Shanahan tree again, I guess.
Yeah, I believe so.
Could be.
I like
I
that.
don't.
I
I
can get
don't
behind that.
remember seeing. I don't remember seeing that. Could be.
A quick Google search helps everything. Anyway, so there's that situation going on too, and so I think they're going to have to really decide what they do with Geno Smith, right? Like, do they cut Geno if they do so before March 13th? They're saving 8 million. There's about 18.5 million in dead cap space, and then you got to figure what to do as a backup. Right now they have Aiden O'Connell that's still on there as a roster spot. I don't think you can pay Geno to be a $27 million backup to a rookie.
Kenny
And
Pickett.
honestly, Kenny Pickett was on my bingo card. I thought about him. I think he would be a very good. But then again, you have Kenny Pickett and Aiden O'Connell that I feel like do the same thing. I feel
I
like you
think
want to have
Pickett
a
is.
veteran presence in
Pickett
that
is
locker room.
a free agent though.
True. Yeah, I know, and for sure. I feel like you would. I don't know. I feel like Joe Flacco, from a backup perspective, would be really nice for a veteran presence. But then again, Joe Flacco, for whatever
He's
reason,
not backing up.
he still thinks he can start, and
Yeah,
God
he's
bless
not
Yeah.
going
him.
to go
Well,
somewhere. I
I
don't think
think
he's
that's
going somewhere to hold a clipboard. You know.
Yeah,
you
that's
need
true.
you need better vibes than what Geno provided. He was a sourpuss last year. So I think
Yeah,
if you bring someone like Flacco in, I think it's not going to gel well with what Mendoza is going to start for sure.
You cannot start Flacco if you're picking Mendoza. That's just like terrible starting point with him.
I totally agree. But there's not just a lot of like I'm thinking of a veteran presence
So
for
I
Mendoza.
I
Like
thought I
that.
thought so that's why I thought Teddy Bridgewater could be interesting as a backup because he has familiarity with Kubiak from their days in Denver.
Mhm.
Bridgewater backed up Baker Mayfield last year. And he retired that 1 year to be a high school coach, then came back.
Right.
He's like a perfect type mentor, like he was in the first round draft pick, he had decent amount of success. Knows quite a few offenses, so I think he could be interesting as a backup. It's Andrew Janocko, and sorry, he came from the Seahawks. Andrew Janocko. So he came from the Seahawks. He was a Seahawks QB coach.
So
So
he
he's going to
poached.
be
So he
yeah,
poached the quarterbacks. He
exactly.
poached staff from the
Yeah,
which
exactly.
again makes sense. These guys they want to round out their own coaching staff with guys that they know. So
Do you guys think the floor is elevated for, I guess, Genty, Bowers for sure? I mean, it's hard to say. Do you go up for Bowers was injured, obviously, and Geno didn't play well. First, Bowers has to be healthy, but the way I saw Mendoza play, like the back shoulder throws, the accuracy, I think it could bode well for Bowers. And there's Jack Besh who's still there. There's Trey Tucker. I know Genty for sure. He fits very well with this type of offense, like zone read, Shanahan type offense. I think Genty's in for a good year, but TBD on the other ancillary pieces.
I do like I'd like this a lot for Genty. I like honestly the success of this team is going to live and die with the offensive line. I feel Mendoza, and correct me if I'm wrong over here. He doesn't strike me as the most mobile quarterback. So if that line collapses,
Not bad.
I think
He's in
Yeah, he's
the
not
middle.
bad.
I would say he's not.
yeah.
I wouldn't say terrible.
If
Like I
he's
wouldn't
not
say he
terrible
can't.
from a
Comp,
college perspective, I don't know how he's going to
but
be from an
he's
NFL
being
perspective.
comped to Goff as like just a
Mm,
pure pocket throw, and he's definitely way more athletic than Goff ever was.
okay.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Fine. I'll refer to you guys in that regard. I just don't see. I feel like a lot of the success of the offensive line is going to be is going to have a very positive influence on how well Mendoza does this year, and likewise to the rest of the offense too. That's why I'm holding my hopes are not very high, and it's not because I don't think Mendoza is a good prospect. I just feel like there's a lot of work to be done with this team beyond the quarterback situation.
yeah, 100%.
Anyways, those are the Las Vegas Raiders, which I guess we're looking at Fernando Mendoza's new team going forward, even though it hasn't happened yet. Next on the slate, we got the New York Football JETSSSS New York Jets. Their current quarterback right now is still Justin Fields with a $23 million cap hit, $10 million guaranteed. So obviously, some of the potential quarterback solutions would be to cut the aforementioned Mr. Justin Fields. If he's done so post June 1st, it's about $23 million in dead cap money, and they're saving $10 million. Potential option for a free agent, and I think he's going to be a very, very, very hot name from the quarterback free agent perspective, and not because of his quality, but more because of a lack of options, I think, too. Malik Willis. Right now, I think his contract as a backup with the Green Bay Packers was somewhere around like $8 million a year. I think he's going to command a lot more than that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the $15 million a year at the very least.
Way higher than
I
that.
was being
20
very conservative.
maybe
They're
maybe
saying
like
25 to 35. Like
That is 35. Oof.
no, like more the Sam Darnold type.
but starters are making. You have to think like starters in the league right now. Like you're thinking of Dak, you're thinking of these guys at the top. Like people are
but
talking about CJ Stroud getting a $62 million contract this offseason. Like you're telling me Willis can't command half that,
Yeah,
even a
but
third of
he's
that?
barely he's
yeah, whether
you
he
need to
can, it's
temper
like
the
he shouldn't.
expectations.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
no,
thing.
for sure, 100%. But there's a market for a QB, right? Like, why would he go ahead and take $15 million on a 3-year deal? Like, he's not going to take a 1-year deal somewhere, right? He's going to want at least 3 years somewhere.
The body of
I
work. There's
guarantee
such a
that this
lack of
this is
body of work.
25. Yeah, but he's coming in at also the right time because there's not much available, right? Like there's not much starting caliber available. The draft,
True,
there's
very
not
true.
much in there.
Yeah.
So it's a supply and demand kind of field, and someone is going to pay it. Especially, look at this. We have 9 teams here that are looking for a quarterback.
Does it fit with the Jets though?
Yeah, well,
I don't think so.
Does anyone fit with the Jets realistically? $35 million a year will put him right above Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and right below Geno Smith. So the quarterback market, as far as the payment is concerned, as far as the average annual contract is concerned, is already completely out of whack, and we kind of already know that. So putting him at $35 million, although it does sound ludicrous, is probably the most realistic price. I would be
And
much more
Darnold-
comfortable at 30, but then at that point, like you're splitting hairs. $5 million on a long-term contract for a quarterback when the cap keeps on going up by $35 million a year. It's peanuts. So whatever.
And Darnold and Baker are both in line for pay raises this year anyway. So
Huge.
their contracts are going to be bigger.
Yeah, 100%. So sign Malik Willis. There's some interesting rumors regarding Derek Carr coming back from retirement. I don't know if the Jets would be a possible destination for him. And then at the same time, it's like these guys might as well just tank for a very
Yes.
interesting quarterback class for 2027.
That's the move.
Yeah, I think that is the move.
That is the move. I find if you sign Willis, you're putting in jeopardy. Like they have what 2 first-round picks next year from the no, they have
2 this year and 2 next year.
2 this year and 2 next year from the Sauce Gardner trade. It's going to be an amazing.
And the Quentin Williams trade.
Yes, the Quinn Williams. Exactly. Yes. It's going to be an amazing quarterback.
3 this year, and 2 next year, something
including the number 2.
No, they have 2 first rounds, 2 second rounders.
In any case,
year after.
In any case, with this QB draft or next year's QB draft, it's supposed to be a fantastic one. Arch Manning, Sellers, the list goes on and on. I don't think it's worth it to try to compete this year. I think this is a team that needs to tank, and I'd be shocked if they went after like a high value quarterback as a free agent or trade for one.
It's funny you say like needs to tank. It happens every year, regardless of if they're trying or not, right?
Sure,
they are.
Sure.
What are they picking this year in the draft? Are they picking second? Yeah. So
second.
Also something to note. Also something to note is that the entire staff was fired except for Aaron Glenn. So he is a lame duck head coach right now. You have to think he's going to try to coach for his job. But for sure, if they have another bad season, I mean, even if they have an okay season where they win, I don't know, 4 or 5 games, which is, I guess above expectation, they're probably going to want to come in with a new coach, knowing that they're going to have a new quarterback as well. So it's a really lame duck situation for Aaron Glenn. It's a tough one, I think. But
I was going to say this has page 1 rewrite written all over it. Yeah,
I can't see them being successful with anyone there right now, with any QB there.
No, zero.
There's still some talent though, obviously, right? Like Wilson's there. Sure, let's see if Breece Hall gets tagged or not. But AD Mitchell came on a bit too, so I think it'll be interesting to see who they try to bring in. But I mean,
it's not a bad roster, and the fact that they have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds leads you to believe that they can get a lot of good talent too, especially 2nd overall and 16th overall. Like, those are some serious day 1 starters that they can add. Obviously it's not going to be quarterbacks, so you're going to be looking at players that can add some serious skill. This is I think the move is to stick with Justin Fields. I would not spend money on Malik Willis and just tank next year, and that's it. Like,
there's no way. There's no way they keep Justin Fields.
In theory, it should be, but like the owner just embarrassed him, so it's
Yeah.
If I'm Justin Fields, I don't want to play there. But then again,
I think that ship has sailed.
How about Russell Wilson? Just move on. You're in the same locker room.
Yo, honestly,
moonballs galore.
If Russell Wilson, if they cut Justin Fields and they sign Russell Wilson on the cheap, I mean, you're getting a starting caliber. Let me rephrase. You're getting a quarterback that can start. And you're gonna be able to still tank regardless for a lot cheaper. Yeah. So I don't think it's a bad move.
360
great for the
he's
vibe.
Doing a 360 on Russell Wilson.
I was very on the team. I was very. He's on the team officially.
Come on.
I will always support my starting quarterback. Period.
That is true.
Always.
No arguments.
I'll always support my starting quarterback. I'm happy that the Giants are on this list for once. My God.
Thank God.
Speaking of dumpster fires, the Arizona Cardinals. What do you do? Like their current quarterback situation right now, you got Kyler Murray, who they're paying $53 million a year, and they got Jacoby Brissett, who like lit the whole world on fire to a degree. Like while he came in relief for Kyler Murray, just throwing everything at the wall and see what was sticking over there. He's getting about 5.5 million. So what are the potential solutions in this scenario? So we got trade Kyler Murray post June 1st. I mean, who is going to take on that salary? That's number one. And they would save $42 million, but they have a dead cap of about 11. Do you roll with Jacoby? Who played well and developed nice chemistry with Michael Wilson? And then you draft a quarterback in 2027? Do you trade for a vet? And what are the vets that are available? I mean, obviously, Malik Willis, fine. Daniel Jones is going to be tagged. Aaron Rodgers might be retiring. Marcus Mariota, Joe Flacco. Like, that's what we're looking at right now. And obviously Russell Wilson. So it's like, and you've got to figure, what does the new head coach Michael LaFleur want to do? Like he needs veteran stability as well, similar to how the Las Vegas Raiders would probably prefer to have that too. So this is a weird one, man. Like this is one where like I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Honestly, like you're stuck with Kyler. You can't like how are you going to trade him? Someone has to take on that, and you still have a big dead cap if you do end up trading him by the right deadline. And then you're just starting Brissett, who went 1-10 as a starter. You're not going to win games with him. So you're doing the same thing and you're tanking for a quarterback in 2027. And hopefully Michael LaFleur is a head coach at that time too.
Again, it's similar to the Jets, right?
Yeah.
But in where it's not similar. Yeah, for sure. But I'm saying where it's not, now they do have, this is their year with the first year head coach. So he's going to want to come in and do something. Now, they gave him a 5-year contract, so it's not like he's going to, even if he tanks, is not going anywhere. But they have to figure out, first and foremost, they got to figure out this Kyler Murray situation. And I feel like, to me, it's got to be done sooner rather than later. I know that Mike LaFleur said there's no timetable on it, but it's just going to keep adding and adding and adding. That the media is just going to keep spinning with it. I think that has to be decided quickly. What are we doing with Kyler? Are you rolling him out one more year? It's obviously a lot more digestible if he's cut next year than if he's cut this year or traded this year, whichever one ends up happening. But I think that's what you got to decide. And then, like you said, they have Jacoby there for one more year. Like he's the bridge to whoever they're ever going to draft in the future, right?
He's Mr. Bridge.
You see them signing someone?
He's Mr. Bridge. I like that.
He is Mr. Bridge.
Yeah.
Apart from that, who you putting on that team?
It feels like they need to break. Like it feels like Kyler and the Cardinals just need a separation. Like ASAP. Yeah. It's run its course. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he won't be there though, just because of the cap situation. Just because, look, for what it's worth, he's still a pretty, I don't want to say pretty good player, but like when he's healthy. And there's an offense designed for him, there can be a modicum of success. I personally think they should roll with Brissett. I think the defense was very, very injured last year.
Yes.
There was injuries on the offense too. We saw with James Conner,
running backs,
even Trey Benson. We saw how Michael Wilson came on. We saw how Trey McBride came on. Even though it was a fantasy scam at the end of games, Brissett, I think we all agree, looked better than Kyler Murray. So I think if it's not Brissett, it could be Kyler, and if it's not one of those two, I saw like, maybe trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. That could be interesting because he has familiarity from Sean McVay when they were with the Rams, and it's a Shanahan offense. Maybe do they try to trade for Mac Jones, another Shanahan offense quarterback? That
division though.
In division, I don't think the Niners want to get rid of him because of how injury prone Purdy is. But
and he played well in relief for Purdy. He really did. Like he played pretty well.
He did. I think he has one more year left on that deal. So yeah, I think they're going to want to keep him for sure, or they're going to ask for at least like a second or third round pick. But I think it has to be Brissett. If you're gun to my head, I think it's Brissett personally.
It'd be very funny if they end up cutting Kyler Murray. They just eat that cap. It is what it is, and then Kyler Murray ends up signing with the Jets. Fun little. Did you guys know that Matt Schaub is a quarterbacks coach for the Arizona Cardinals?
I saw that come up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the coaching staff right now. That's he was not a bad quarterback. That could be interesting. I mean, I don't know if do you think Kyler Murray knows who Matt Schaub is? Like, because he's not really a quarterback.
You need to be able to see him. He's like, remember Matt Schaub?
Who's this guy?
No, I saw. Funny one I saw is apparently Tua is like maybe like excited about the fact of potentially being dealt to Arizona. And like I'm hearing there could be a swap action, like Kyler going one way and Tua going the other way.
I can see
imagine something like that.
I can see Tua being an upgrade over Jacoby Brissett and doing, I mean, not by much, but like there's an upgrade. Tua's not a bad quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not a good quarterback, but he's not a bad quarterback. Would you rather have Kyler Murray or Tua?
I'd rather have Kyler Murray because Tua plays in a way where he has to get rid of the ball, or else it's a concussion. He plays scared and he plays literally.
Come on, I definitely like Kyler over Tua.
I like Kyler way more over Tua. Like,
of course. I would not. I don't see an offense being any way effective with Kyler Murray at the helm, whereas with Tua, there does exist an offense where he can be effective, and we've seen it. That's what I'm saying. I feel like
I will say this. In theory, he fits more a Matt LaFleur offense than he would a Kyler Murray offense. That I would agree. But again, like the way he plays, the concussions he's had, he gets rid of the ball so fast. Like
in a vacuum, Kyler Murray is actually less injury prone, believe it or not. But
yeah, it's
all things being considered.
It's crazy to think.
Honestly, right? Yeah, all things. Anyways, we're also comparing like $1 for 4 quarters. So those are my 3 options. I'm just gonna. So yeah, I guess the Arizona Cardinals are also kind of up Poo-Poo's Creek over there.
Yeah,
Raj, who's number 4? What do you got?
Yeah, number 4. We're going from 3 grim situations. Although the Raiders are hoping to improve theirs, but at least the last 2 situations were rough. We enter in with the Cleveland Browns. So the Cleveland Browns have picks 6 and 24. They have 2 picks from the Jaguars trade from last year. So current QB situation, obviously Deshaun Watson. He's like that guy you just can't get rid of. That enemy, that final boss that it just keeps coming back and coming back. $46 million fully guaranteed. Obviously, there's also Dylan Gabriel. He was a rookie last year. He struggled. And if he struggled, then obviously Mr. Shedeur Sanders, Pro Bowler, say what you will, but he was a Pro Bowler.
The
Pro Bowler.
The Browns had 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks. They had 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks. Who else had that last year? Come on, you got to give credit to the roster construction that is the Cleveland Browns.
You got to give credit.
Can I sign off right now? I'd like to sign off.
I will, but in all seriousness, I will say, so they have a new head coach, Todd Monken. He has a ton of play calling experience, whether it was at Tampa Bay with Jameis Winston, whether it was at Georgia 2 years where they won the national championship, and obviously in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. So some of the potential solutions, there's been talk about, hey, do they want to try to give Watson a shot? They're not going to be able to get rid of him. He's coming off an Achilles. You might as well maybe try to see what you could get out of him. I think it is a foregone conclusion to think that he can recreate what he used to be, which was a near top 5 quarterback, but that option has to obviously be there. I think Shedeur for sure. There was some video clips when Monken was hired about, how Monken seemed quite happy to maybe be with Shedeur. I don't know if it was a farce or it was just for video.
That was a farce. I don't believe that.
I think so too, but I think the rapport with him seems already a little bit better than what he had with Stefanski. And I think the Shador supporters, which, you know, I'm a jokingly Shador supporter, like, but, you know, not really. A lot of them hang on to that Titans game where he threw for like 350 yards. That was really the only good game he had. Ultimately, though, like PFF said, he was one of the worst ranked or the worst starting QB last year. So that'll be a hard one. You know, do they try to maybe bring back Jameis Winston? Bring him back because he was with the Browns last year. He was of the 30 for 30 fame when Todd Monken was OC. I don't think that's a bad option, honestly. They have to obviously trade with the Giants. And then, you know, there's obviously Dylan Gabriel as well. I saw something floating around too, you know, Anthony Richardson. You know, we'll talk about, I believe we will talk about the Colts after. Yeah, we will talk about the Colts after, not to spoil too much, but I saw Anthony Richardson could be an option. I think he's all but done there. You know, maybe they take on another project and make their QB room even more of a mess. But this is very hard. I think for me right now, I'd have to say it's Shador. Just because I can't see Watson and, you know, that situation. Dylan Gabriel really wasn't that good, and, you know, it's hard to predict a trade that may or may not happen. And Jameis, that's also another trade that has to happen. But ultimately, this team, from an offensive perspective, Quinshon Judkins is, you know, coming off a really gruesome injury. The wide receiver room is brutal. Jerry Jeudy's there. We didn't see much improvement from Cedric Tillman. David Njoku is gone. Obviously, Harold Fannin played really well, but the big thing is, and I saw it on social, I don't know if you guys saw it too, is the offensive line. Like, I think all of the offensive line are either free agents or
all five.
All five. An absolute unmitigated disaster from a team building perspective. Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think, but if I gun to my head, I'd have to say it's Shador to start.
Oh, I agree. I think they're. Sorry, Nag. I think they've handicapped it. Like they've cut off one of their legs by having Deshaun Watson there on that contract, and I still don't know what the injury situation is with him, if he's expected to start or play at all in 2026. But you don't have a choice when it's $46 million fully guaranteed, and then you got two rookie quarterbacks. You're starting Shador Sanders. Like, you don't have a choice, and you've already said that too. And maybe you get something. Maybe you have some sort of a success with it, and if not, then it's another page one rewrite again. Now that the entire offensive line, because I was of the opinion that, you know what, their wide receiver room was completely decimated, right? Well, decimated. It's not a very good wide receiver room, and there aren't a lot of really good wide receiver free agents that are coming out this year. So I was like, you know what, at 6, maybe they draft Carnell Tate if he's there. But now the whole offensive line is going to be gone. So you have no choice but to spend the majority of your picks on shoring up an offensive line that is going to be, it's going to be an empty room when you go to the film room there. You know? So
yeah, that's a great point.
Guys, Deshaun Watson has the biggest cap hit in the NFL next year. In the NFL, $80 million cap hit next year. And they can't cut him, because if they cut him, it's $131 million in dead cap. I think he's going to have every option or every chance to be the starter next year. That would be incredibly devastating if you have a player who's carrying $80 million of your cap sitting on the bench. And then there's talk of them going out and drafting QBs too. Like, are they just going to do this every single year, or just going to draft 2 or 3 QBs and hopefully one is going to be the answer? Like, I just feel like this team has no vision. It has been like that for a very long time. And even when they have great drafts like they did a year ago, they had a lot of defensive pieces. Like you mentioned, Fannin, too. They had the defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, their defense was stout, and you're still going to be picking 3rd overall this year or 6th overall this year. Like, there's something that just they can't figure out. They're just trying to band-aid with these big name players, and they take big swings. I'll give them that, but it fails every single time, right? Like I just, it's such a dumpster fire right now, and I don't know what it's going to take to fix it. First of all, like you said, that Deshaun Watson contract needs to end before any change can happen. So I think this year you're looking at another, top 5 pick in 2027. And then you're right back where you started, where we just mentioned that QB list next year is a lot longer and a lot better. And then what do? I don't have faith in this roster right now, but I do think Deshaun Watson is going to get every chance to start next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I think this is probably one of the worst situations because, again, no really good young player. And to your point, Knack, they're completely strapped into the Deshaun Watson contract, no pun intended. We're going to move on to the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons have no first round pick. And it was funny, there was a lot of talk on Twitter about how the Falcons want a first round pick, because they traded for James Pierce Jr. James Pierce Jr. had a fantastic rookie year. And for me, I felt like it doesn't matter that you trade the first round pick. He was fantastic from a rookie perspective. And then he absolutely potentially ruins his career by crashing his car into his ex-girlfriend. And I don't know if do you guys hear about this? But yeah, he completely crashed his car into his ex-girlfriend, Rickeya Jackson. She's like a WNB, one of like really good WNB players. It was so bad. He had to be held by police officers. And now they don't have a first round pick. They have that situation. And then you add the fact that their current QB situation, Michael Penix had another torn ACL. I think it's his third torn ACL in his young career. He had 2 in college. There's a lot of rumors that Kirk Cousins will likely be cut. TBD if he's back on a team-friendly deal. But from what everything new president of football operations, Matt Ryan, said, it sounds like they like Michael Penix Jr. It sounds like they still want to give him a chance, even though the head coach that drafted him is gone. The GM that drafted him is gone. Even the previous president of football ops, I think it was Rich McKay, he's gone as well. I think they owe it to themselves because they invested so much in Michael Penix. So I firmly think that he will be the starter at some point. Now they need a placeholder in case he is not ready for week 1 because of the ACL. It sounds like, if you release Kirk Cousins post June 1, there's about $22.5 million of dead cap, but again, you could bring him back on a team-friendly deal. Maybe they go after like a veteran stopgap. Russell Wilson is the type of veteran stopgap placeholder that doesn't ruffle feathers. He'll come in to start a bit, and then he'll know his place to sit down once Michael Penix Jr. is back. I thought maybe Jacoby Brissett, if he's not seen as an option in Arizona, he has a ton of familiarity with Kevin Stefanski. I think he led them to the playoffs that one year where he was a stopgap solution for Baker Mayfield, I believe. So, it's not an ideal situation because Penix is coming into a new offense, a new situation, an offense that doesn't necessarily fit him and fit his skill set as well, and a torn ACL. But I don't think they have a choice but to give him one more shot this year because you did see some signs of life in a few games this year with Penix.
No, I agree.
Mariota.
Bring back Mariota, eh? That's a good one.
Mariota's a very good quarterback.
Yeah,
He's a very good backup quarterback. And I listen, if I'm the Washington Commanders, I'm not letting him leave I'm not letting him leave the organization because if we saw anything from what happened to Jano Daniels last year, the way he plays does leave himself open to a lot more injuries. Right,
he is the quintessential backup quarterback right now, where like he's talented, he's had previous success. He just wants to be a backup, though. He doesn't have aspirations to be a starter. So I would agree with that.
No, exactly. Just like Jameis Winston, just like Mac Jones, like those guys are the guys that Mac Jones might have aspirations. I think you have no choice but to roll with Penix too. I would caution about cutting Kirk Cousins just because of the injury situation that exists out there, just because unless you know that you can sign Russell Wilson on the cheap. But Russell Wilson, I feel like, is only going to want to go to a situation where he knows he's going to be the starter for a long period of time. Because he thinks he's still the starter.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, that guy, he's still got that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just don't know if Russell Wilson would. That's right.
Still the Giants quarterback, Fab. You're talking about him like that?
Atlanta Falcons. Let's fly. Let's fly. Yeah, he's still the Giants quarterback. He is. No, he's going to be cut. He's gone.
Is the future from Atlanta?
I don't know.
Yeah, future is. Oh wow, yeah.
I don't know if you could. Yeah, I forget that.
Well, it's good for like shared parenting and all that stuff. You know, they got to think about the kids too, right?
They're just gonna play future like at Mercedes Benz.
Imagine Russell Wilson was out of the tunnel.
Any other thoughts on this? I think this is pretty. I think we all agree. Nak, I know you said Mariota, but I think you agree. Like it's as a placeholder, right? Like it's you got to get
until like the person's gonna come in. You bring in a backup because Penix is your, like you said, he's your starter. So if he comes back week 4, like the backup's gonna know that, hey, like Michael Penix is coming back when he's ready, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think you go after a marquee name here, and I don't think a marquee name comes here because they know Penix is the starter.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then, so my last QB situation that I'll be talking about the Miami Dolphins. They have pick 11, their current QB situation. So actually, take a step back. They just hired a new head coach in Jeff Hafley. They also have a new general manager who came from the Green Bay Packers, John Eric Sullivan. So current QB situation, Tua Tagovailoa, who has a huge cap hit. And then there's also Quinn Ewers, rookie. Started the final 3 games, I think, incomplete rating, I guess. Looked okay. There's Zach Wilson as a backup as well. The Zach Wilson, who was a second overall pick just a few years ago. So obviously, this is the Malik Willis team that people are saying because of the familiarity with Hafley and John Eric Sullivan from the Packer days. I think we all agree that Tua is getting cut at some point. And Nak, I think it's 99 dead, but I saw that they could absorb it in 2 kind of, they could absorb it if it's a post June 1 designation. So 55.4 applying to 2026 and 43.8 applying in 2027. So I would think
similar what Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's Willis again. The familiarity. If it's not Willis, could they be a Joe Flacco type team? One that I felt is sneaky. Davis Mills played really well for the Texans, and the new OC for the Dolphins is Bobby Slowick.
Yeah.
Davis Mills could be a starter in the league, at least a spot starter, and he deserves a chance. Do the Texans want to let him go based off how CJ Stroud played? I think Stroud is the QB long term. I don't care what anyone says, because if you look at these situations here, I think all these teams would want CJ Stroud. But I think Davis Mills could be an interesting one for them. But I think if it's not that, I think we'd all agree Malik Willis, likely the one. But the only question I have for you guys, what does Malik Willis do for the Dolphins? Like, where does that put them versus, again, doing what the Jets should be doing, are going to do, which is tank, and then trying to kind of play for the 2027 quarterback class?
Puts them potentially maybe back where they are now, kind of similar situation to where they are now. He could probably win a few games, right? Like Malik Willis, he's shown promise. He could probably look. They started cutting. Tyreek is not there. They're talking about. They started cutting. They started. Who else did they cut? They cut Bradley Chubb. They cut. There's talks that Mika Fitzpatrick is now on the trade block as well.
Yep.
Like they're gutting because they need cap space. They're bleeding for cap space. So obviously they're probably planning for a Tua release, because I don't see anyone taking this contract via trade, right? So yeah, signing Malik Willis, like as much as like everyone is throwing it out there and it's like almost a foregone conclusion, I don't think that's what's needed right now.
And
they should not sign Malik Willis. They should not. They don't have the cap space for it. They're in such a worse situation than a lot of other teams over here that also have a similar, like, we have a lame duck quarterback that has a boatload of guaranteed money. Malik Willis should not be the answer, in my opinion. That it would be very, very poor cap management by the Miami Dolphins to go out and spend, let's say, $100 million on Malik Willis, because you got to give him like a 3-year contract, or else why? And let's say it's at $35 million a year, or maybe $33 million a year, right? Like, so, and this is a guy that, hey man, he's played like 6 career NFL games. Let's give him all kinds of money. Like, I don't understand the logic behind it. Like, I get it from a quarterback needy team perspective, but if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm trotting out Evan Ewers, I'm trotting out Zach Wilson, and if no one can trade for Tua, he's going to ride my bench, and it's just like, we're going to unfortunately have to just figure it out next year and the year after, and hopefully our good players are still our good players in a year or two from now, because I just don't see the logic in signing Willis. I don't.
Now that you say it that way and you present it that way, Fab, like, I look at this John Eric Sullivan GM. He's been with the Packers since 2004. And what have the Packers always done? The Packers they've always drafted. The Packers are If they go free agent, it's big free agent moves. Unless when they know that they can really compete. Otherwise, it's draft, develop. So to that point, if they could get Willis maybe on a cheap deal, which is unlikely, but a cheap 1-year deal, maybe 2-year deal, I doubt that'll happen. I would agree.
Malik Willis, would you want to sign?
No.
Would you want to sign a cheap one, even if it's like the Jeff Hafley discount? Like, no, I don't really care.
No, this is his payday.
This is his payday.
This is his payday
exactly.
here, man. He knows it. Supply and demand, and he's the marquee guy. Like, there's no way you pass that up. His agent would quit.
Yeah, for sure. So those are my QB situations. Knack, you made out with some much better situations than me and Fab did. So why don't you take it away with your 3 teams?
Yes, don't mind if I do. I don't know if I better. First one here, the Minnesota Vikings, pick 18 in the draft. So current QB is Mr. JJ McCarthy, former 2024 10th overall pick. Has not looked good. Coming off a injury where he missed his whole rookie season. They decided to go with him over Mr. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl winner. Did not work out very well for them this year. There was a lot of QBs that started in his place as well. He was injured throughout the year. We saw Carson Wentz in there. We saw, who else did we see in there? We saw one more guy.
Max Brosmer.
That's it, Brosmer. How could I forget him? But he didn't look good. He did not look good at all. I know there's been talk about, Aaron Rodgers and how there was interest last year until he ultimately decided to go to Pittsburgh. And now even Rodgers kind of said it in his post-game comments that if he did come back, there would be more than one team that would have interest in him or that he would have for a suitor. So that's always on the table. But one that's been floating around that honestly I feel like makes the most sense is probably Kirk Cousins' reunion in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson had some pretty good years with Kirk Cousins as his quarterback. He'll be now 2 years removed from his Achilles injury.
Yep.
Maybe he's got something left in the tank. He goes back with Kevin O'Connell, who we all know works magic with QBs. So I don't know, man. I can't see them rolling Mike McCarthy out, JJ McCarthy out again. Like, it's just, to me, it's crazy, right? Is it just me who's crazy? Do they even try? I would even suggest they even try to get Daniel Jones back, right? That could be an option. Bring back Daniel Jones into the fold.
The problem that I have with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, go ahead.
The problem that I have with Daniel Jones is that we don't know how bad the injury is. So I don't even know what extent, because he's probably going to get franchise tag for the Colts just for another year, I think, just because they unless his agent works another some more magic and gets another 4-year deal. I just feel like Daniel Jones' situation is a little bit murky, but I think you have that on the docket later on. JJ McCarthy, I don't know, man. You have, what choice do you have? I like your idea of trading for Kirk Cousins. I like that a lot, actually, because. But then
he's
again,
going to get cut, so we're just signing him.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to get cut because they have no cap space. They are number 31 out of 32 teams right now with the amount of cap space available to them. So they have no cap space at all. So that's another thing. You have to be careful about who. They're limited with options, unfortunately, which is probably why Max Brosmer is their backup quarterback, because they can't afford to have another backup quarterback. It's a very bad cap situation. And to go back to the whole Kevin O'Connell thing, he wanted JJ McCarthy.
Yep.
So, you make your bed, you got to sleep in it, my friend. That's why. I don't think we're going to be seeing anybody else playing quarterback for that team except for JJ McCarthy.
Interesting.
So they could be a sneaky Kyler team, but the fit is really poor with Kyler and Kevin O'Connell, Mike Shanahan type offense. It just doesn't fit. One that I saw that I really liked, and I think we have to take a step back and just see, the Vikings are, if you look at it, they're trying to win now. They have a really good defense. Brian Flores is still there. Maybe some offensive line issues, but when you have Justin Jefferson, that defense, an all-pro on offensive line, they're trying to win. One that I saw and listened to this morning, I think could be interesting. Say what you will about him, Geno Smith. Geno Smith was his type of play style, throwing it deep with Justin Jefferson. Say what you will about how he looked in Oakland, but those years in Seattle, he was really and like with a kind of similar type of scheme.
Those years.
It was
Like
it was 2-3 years. He was really solid, man. And I think we're scarred by the last year that he had. But if there's one team that has done a really good job with reclamation backup quarterbacks, Minnesota has always, dating back to like Randall Cunningham, dating back to the 1990, they always take reclamation backup quarterbacks and do well with them. I don't know what it is, but they always do. And I think that could be an interesting option.
That's true.
Geno Smith is an upgrade on JJ McCarthy. Plain and simple.
You both might be an upgrade on JJ McCarthy.
Wow.
Seriously.
Hey, Roger, remember how happy you were when the Giants didn't draft him and we drafted Malik Neighbors instead? Remember that? I remember that.
No, I don't remember. Look. The thing is it's a bit similar to Penix. The thing is, Kevin O'Connell is still there, and he was JJ McCarthy's guy. You have to give JJ McCarthy maybe half a year to a year to learn on the job. They cannot trot him out, but you can't give up on him yet. He was a top 10, 11 pick. I think he was 11th overall. You can't give up on him yet. I think you need to see what you have in a veteran quarterback, because there's so many veterans on that team, and given an opportunity maybe to try to win the job during training camp or win the job the year after. But I don't think they could roll.
No. You definitely have to get the biggest thing is you have to get him a vet in camp, because he needs competition. He needs to be pushed, because he knows if there's Brosmer there, like
exactly,
he's winning the job, right? Like you can't make it seem like it's his job and it doesn't matter what he's got to be pushed throughout camp. So definitely a veteran has to be signed, and I think that's what they're going to do ultimately.
Yeah,
we'll move along with the Indianapolis Colts. They also do not have a first-round pick this year after trading for Sauce Gardner. That didn't go very well. Got injured. I think it was 2 games into his Colts tenure. Excuse me. So current QB situation, they had Daniel Jones, who looked like he was the runaway comeback player of the year, potential MVP. Then you have Anthony Richardson, who, gets injured in pregame warm-up and misses, the final 11 games or something with the orbital bone. He's coming. I think that's going to be Richardson's 3rd year now. So they got to decide after this year if they pick up his 5th-year option, which at this point seems not very likely. So again, for me, situations with that, like I think, like maybe Fab alluded to it, I think they may franchise tag. The franchise tag is really, really high this year for quarterbacks. I believe it's north of 45 million. Yeah, I think it's 44 or 45 million for quarterbacks this year. So it's quite high. So even a 1 year, 45 million, that's totally guaranteed. So it is quite high. Although the way he played at the start of the year, at the beginning of the year, you got to believe even on a multi-year deal, he's touching that 40 to 45 million anyways. But they got to figure out, what are we going to do? Do we hitch our start to that wagon, trade Anthony Richardson? Do we give him another shot? There was Riley Leonard that's still there. I mean, to me, it is Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones right now, I wouldn't go as far as going 4-year deal, but maybe similar to what Sam Darnold got with like a 1 year out, knowing that he was injured. Maybe that's potentially a way to lure him back. Richardson, I think he needs a fresh start. I think it's time to cut the cord, try to see what you can get for him. You don't have a 1st-round pick, so you're going to need to accumulate some assets somewhere else. I don't know. What do you guys think of this? It's kind of, I think it's pretty obvious, but I'm curious to see if there's any.
This feels like the easiest situation of all of these. Honestly, it's resign Daniel Jones. Don't tag him. Resign him to like a 3-year, like you said, Sam Darnold type deal. And we saw enough out of Riley Leonard in that game against the Texans, where the last game of the season, I believe, where he should be a competent enough placeholder until Daniel Jones is back. I think that's the answer, and it's quite simple, especially with how much QB turnover the Colts have dealt with. I'm sure those players are sick and tired of having a new QB every single year.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way to go. Yeah, Daniel Jones is like a Sam Darnold type contract for sure. I was only suggesting a franchise tag in the event that they can't get to some common ground. But it is like $47 million, which is quite a bit there. I mean, that is a big chunk of change. I do see them trading for Anthony Richardson to a more quarterback needy team, like potentially the aforementioned Minnesota Vikings. Let him compete with JJ McCarthy. Why not?
Oh
Or
yeah,
even to Knack. Why not to trade him to your Pittsburgh Steelers?
I saw some of those rumors for like a 5th-round pick or something. I saw like a rumor trade to
He
Pittsburgh.
what a
he
segue.
would be cheap. He would be cheap.
What a
Yeah, and
segue.
yeah, indeed. But yeah, so I'll let you take care of number 9 then.
Yes, segue into team number 9. Obviously, you guessed it, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have pick number 21. They have they kind of were like the Colts. The Colts had five straight different starting quarterbacks in 5 straight years. I think it was the same now for Pittsburgh. Since Ben retired, there's been a different starting quarterback every single year. So it's been kind of unheard of in Pittsburgh. So currently, there's Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he's on another dark retreat or ayahuasca retreat, whatever he's doing, but he's not told anyone if he's coming back or not, pending free agent. You have Will Howard, who was 2025 6th-round pick, 0 career snaps, hurt himself in training camp and never even was able to play the preseason. And then you have Mason Rudolph as the backup. I can't like wait to never see this name again. It's just like I don't want to see
How is he
his
still there,
name
man?
any like it's crazy how like journeyman this guy has been, like just been around. Like he's had starts. He's had, like it's
He
just
has
crazy
he
to
has
me.
something on the
Actually
Roonies.
he
He for
started
sure
what he
has
had
He's
something
the
started
on the
2
GOAT.
games last year for Pittsburgh. Like it's just I don't know. The QB situation needs to be figured out and needs to be figured out quick. Although I don't think this is the year where it's going to be figured out, and I think we may have the same opening day starter as last year, as there are rumors, yes, that they want to re-sign Aaron Rodgers to another 1-year deal because there is no QBs in this draft, and obviously picking
Run it back,
21st,
baby.
they're not going to get obviously
Uh,
anyone of well, everyone is saying Ty Simpson, but I really hope they don't take Ty Simpson with the 21st pick because I feel like it emulates a Kenny Pickett mistake there. But I mean,
It sounds
he's
like another
spoken to
Will
Mike
Howard if
McCarthy.
you get Ty Simpson.
Yeah, well, look, like again, that's the other thing. A lot of people are saying like give Will Howard a shot, and it's like 6th-round pick, 0 NFL snaps. Like there's 0% chance he's the opening day starter unless 2 people get hurt on
there's,
the roster. 2
there's too many
QBs get hurt.
vets.
Yeah.
There's still too many
Exactly.
veterans
There's
with the
so
like
many
you guys could still
veterans.
you guys could
Yeah.
wake up and win 6 games easily with like the
Yeah.
roster that's currently constructed.
But that's the thing. That's why they say like who you going to sign, right? Like who's the QB that's really going to sign? Who's going to be your stop? Like I've heard Kirk Cousins. So same thing. Like why sign Kirk Cousins if it's Aaron Rodgers is there? Daniel Jones is not going to come there. Joe Flacco would be the absolute funniest thing in the world. He would have the AFC North bingo if he signed with
Would you take
the.
Kyler?
It's more the money that scares me with Kyler, right? Like there's a lot of unless he's released, right? If he's released, that's a different story. But the trade value, look, they have 12 picks this year, and the rumor is they're going to try to move a lot of those picks and get 2027 picks because that's when they're going to want to try to move up. But the draft is also in Pittsburgh, so they may want to make some kind of a splash. New coach, first time in 18 years. But like, if you look at his numbers last year, 10-6 as a starter, 3,200 yards, 24 TDs, only 7 interceptions. I don't know. I think technically he is the best option for this year, and hopefully, look, he's 42, going to be 43 during the year. You hope that it just flops and it doesn't work, and then they finish at that aforementioned 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah, but Knack, you know what's gonna happen, right? We're gonna be on this podcast in week 4, and you guys are gonna be 4-1, and you're gonna be boasting and thumping your chest about how good the Steelers are. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna be like, here we go.
It's not. It's
Here
not
we
going
go.
right.
Here we go.
This is going to
we
be.
go.
This is what's going to actually supplant his legacy, because if McCarthy comes in and Rodgers actually starts. No, but I'm just saying, like, if Rodgers starts and he come in and they have a losing record, like, you could. How much more can you say? Like, that's just the cherry on top that he is a Hall of Famer, and the people calling him not a Hall of Famer are delusional.
Yeah.
Right?
This is a depressing.
Can it work? Sure. It just
this is the worst.
the situation is
this low
it's
key might be
terrible.
the worst situation because it's
it
so
is.
treadmill, like it's so treadmill type, like stuck in middle ground where like, oh, we have a really good veteran team, but then we have a 43-year-old QB. This might actually be the worst situation. It's crazy to think.
The other 8, you know what direction you have to go. The majority of them have to tank or hope for their draft pick pans out.
Yes.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are stuck in mediocrity, as they are every single year when they finish 8-9 or 9-8 or whatever the case may be. And this is the result of that. So I don't see them doing anything different next year. Rod, you said it, like they roll out of bed, they get 6 wins. So we're going to be looking at the same scenario next year again. You have to hope that they tank, and if they sign Rodgers, they will not tank. They won't. And if they trade for Anthony Richardson, there's a very good chance that they do tank. So hopefully that's the case for them.
I can't see it happening. I think the Rooney is just too, like, no tank, no, like, we're gonna compete every year. Like, why would you throw away a year and whatever? But yep, I agree. I think it's 100% rebuild time, and as much as I'd love to see Aaron Rodgers back, I hope he doesn't come back. So there is that chance that they, do have those 5 or 6 wins and have a chance to maybe move up in the draft next year. Or hopefully they draft Nussmeier in the 5th round, and he becomes the stud everyone thought he was last year.
Yeah, I heard he looked really good at Senior Bowl. Yeah,
he looked really good at Senior Bowl.
He's declaring this year. Yeah,
good at Senior Bowl.
He apparently looked. He did look really good.
Is it Nussmeier or Nussmeier?
Nussmeier.
I think it's Nussmeier.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to you who gets every name wrong in the book.
I'm on Wikipedia right now. It says Nussmeier.
That will do it for our QB Carousel episode. Guys, thank you so much for watching the episode. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter for your weekly fantasy breakdown. And we'll be back in 2 weeks where we will be... remind me here, cuts, tags, and trades. Some interesting stuff. And then we have free agency right around the corner. Let's go.
It's the off season. Things change around. We'll see. There might be some breaking news. Who knows?
There's always going to be
maybe some quarterbacks are going to be signed by certain teams we're not aware of right now. Who knows? Stay tuned to find out more.
Stay tuned. Thanks a lot, everyone. Raj, the music.
A lot of these names in the quarterback class for 2026 in the draft class are guys that, like, at the beginning of last year, everyone was super excited about to be drafted. And now it's like...
Yeah, Nussmeier, Aller. Oh, Haller is it?
Yeah, Carson Beck.
Haller,
like, these
God.
are such big names. We're like, I can't wait to get these guys. And it's like, I don't want to touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Drew Aller was like a foregone conclusion. He was coming to Pittsburgh. And I really hope it's not a foregone conclusion. But did he went back?
No,
or is he in the draft?
I think
did he declare?
I think he could still come back if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Peace out, everyone. They're probably still better.
Bye.